you to this Animas County Board of County Commissioners meeting. It's a regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. It is 9 a.m. I'm going to call this meeting to order. And please rise for an invocation by Commissioner Tony Haas, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Lucero.
Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to see another day. We pray for your strength and mercy today. We know we will stumble and fail. Please help us to overcome any hurdles that we encounter. Please give us the wisdom and guidance needed to maneuver any obstacles. And may our word honor you in all of our actions. In your holy name, amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It just looks weird because you guys are looking this way. We're looking right at you.
And for our audience, we do have this flag for us, so we don't have to be moving over the place. But thank you for doing that.
And it's in every meeting.
It's just weird.
It's of course scaring at you guys.
I know.
Thank you, Commissioners. A roll call, Mr. Dorncamp.
Commissioner Hess? Here. Commissioner Lucero? Here. Commissioner Lopez?
Here. Approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes to the agenda, Mr. Dorncamp?
No changes, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Lucero?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes. Thank you. Section 2, consideration of minutes, regular meeting minutes of February 3rd, 2026. Commissioners, we have had those minutes. Are there any additions, deletions, corrections? Here or not, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
Move to approve the regular meeting minutes of February 3rd, 2026.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Lucero?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes. Thank you. We're going to go to our reading of correspondence, commission committee reports. Commissioner Rosero, would you please go first?
Sure. On 5th and 6th, we sat in on a CCI steering committee meeting to discuss upcoming proposed Senate bills and to adopt a position on given pieces of legislation. There's been over 100 bills proposed as of that date, and many more have been proposed since then. So we'll be very busy over the next several months. On the 7th, I attended the annual Sunflower Valley Pipeline Association meeting. We had the election of board members whose terms had expired and filled one vacant seat on that board and adopted the budget for 2026. Also on the 9th, I attended the Southern Colorado Workshop Group with the Fort Carson Indian Canyon representatives to discuss many things, including upcoming training that will take place with the largest meeting in May. On the 11th, I had an interagency governmental work group meeting with the San Isabel National Forest and Cimarron and Comanche National Grasslands. They gave an update of the revised assessment and public comment summary. There will be a public engagement workshop on March the 11th in 2026. It's going to be in Lahana. I think it's tentatively scheduled for the college, and in conjunction with that, I think it's we're going to have that same meeting in I think Elkhart, Kansas, at the same time. So you can Zoom through on those, or you can attend those. I think it'll start at 4. It's scheduled probably for about 3.5 hours. So that's my report.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Hess.
On the 9th of February, I attended the U.S. Army Civil Working Group meeting with Mr. Lucero, and there was a quarterly update. The reseeding was of the impacted areas was brought up, and how are they going to do that if they're going to increase heavy artillery fire on the base, and they're going to try to increase the live fire once they get the pipeline moved to the west boundary of the property. And they were telling us that if you would like to come see their reseeding projects, to get a hold of Melissa Stats and any other public event that you would like to do, and she'll try and get it set up. On the 12th, I was able to testify on Ty Winter's bill, House Bill 261140, the local impact bill. This differentiates between the state impact and the local impact. It seems pertinent to me that if you're gonna maybe can some bills that were heavily impacted by fiscal impact for the state, then they should consider that for the local governments too, instead of passing those impacts on to local governments. It addresses the reality that counties live every day, policy decisions made without clear understanding of the fiscal impacts, and they're creating unsustainable pressure on local governments. The unfunded mandates are not theoretical, they show up as staffing vacancies and we can't fill, technology upgrades we can't defer, trade-offs between core services like public safety, human safety, services and infrastructure. And unlike the state and federal government, counties can't run deficits, print money, or shift costs without consequences. It was assigned to the Veterans and Military Affairs Committee, which is commonly known as the KILL Committee, and but we come out of there 7-4, and we had many commissioners that were there to help push it across the finish line. On the 13th, I attended the CCI and Human Health Services meeting. This has been going on for quite a while, and after lengthy negotiations, we finally got some good news. The negotiations with the governor's staff and administration. The proposal hit the marks, and we're entering into negotiations now with the governor. It's a huge win. The governor's office is on board also. But they made it real clear that whatever the deal is, it can't cost any money. And primarily going to focus on improving error rates, and there won't be any money coming to the county administration. It's really challenging to try to thread the needle where the state and county responsibilities lie, and creating those regional health hubs. I attended the CCI and the DNR, Department of National Resources workshop, getting closer in negotiations on House Bill 26-1008, and trying to make sure that agriculture is one of the primary focuses on an even approach and not just recreation. And the CPW needs to do what they do best and manage wildlife. Also on the 11th was the meeting that Commissioner Lucero talked about. These are monthly scoping meetings, although they're ramping up these meetings now, and they're doing a whole revisioning process of whether recreation or green energy development may provide more income to our schools and the educational administration. Anyway, the scoping meetings regarding the revisioning and the purpose of state lands, school sections in Comanche and Cimarron grasslands are under scrutiny right now. One of my primary concerns, and I made it known at the meeting before this one, was that many of these state lands are located right in the middle of private property. And how are you going to access those? Now, if it's voluntary and the rancher wants to work with them and he gets something out of it, that's private property rights. But if they condemn it, that's a takings, in my opinion. And I made it real clear to him that shouldn't happen. On the 13th of February, I attended the green energy permitting discussion. The level of interest in the royalty payments and rules and regs that have to be developed must be comparable to what oil and gas have to provide. State control is being pushed and preferred, but by the administration, but over local authority and over permitting. Of course, local governments are pushing back on that. We want to maintain our local authority. And I believe that's my report, sir.
Thank you, Commissioners. Rather than a couple points that came out of, we had a legislative breakfast in Denver, had an opportunity to meet with representatives from both sides of the aisle, and certainly it gives an opportunity as county commissioners, probably out of the 64 counties, the majority of us were there, and it gives an opportunity to visit with other elected officials from different districts than ours, because we know we have the support here in San Luis County, House District 47 and Senate District 35. But in my very personal opinion, I think, our recommendations and the conversation that we have with our representatives from the other side of the aisle, simply they're just giving us the politeness to listen, but they're not going to be any actions on that. As Commissioner Haas, so we had an opportunity to mention, we had to testify on Representative Winter's local control bill. Basically what the crux of this whole thing has been that counties should be at the table because the legislature has been passing so many pieces of legislation with unfunded mandates, hardly any money. So our message to them is, if you don't give us the money, the county is not going to be able to implement all these new practices. And we want you to hear that very clear. Because at the end of the day, we are not going to go back to our counties and tax our citizens, which they're already strained tough enough financially to implement some of the measures. And then had an opportunity to describe, Los Animas County, the largest county, almost 5,000 square miles within the state of Colorado, geographically, demographically, socioeconomic. I mean, we have so many differences between the northern counties and Los Animas County. So it was a great opportunity to spend some time on that. I wanted today take an opportunity to mention, as we speak today, there are two bills that are going to be hitting the floor of the House. And one of which you're going to think that this is something out of a different world. But today there's going to be a Senate Bill 26097, decriminalizing adult sexual activity. In other terms, legalizing prostitution in the state of Colorado. And one of the, ironically, the bill was drafted on Valentine's Day, Valentine's weekend. One of the challenges that we believe as counties is they want to make it mandatory in all 64 counties. And to monitor and regulate, the questions are going to be many, and this almost sounds like a bill from a comic book. But now the Department of Regulatory Agencies, are they going to be creating a new Department of Intimacy? How are they going to monitor that? How are they going to be asking counties to monitor all of that? And they're going to tax it. And one of the, to me, nonsense protectionisms that it is implied within the legislation, it is that this is protecting all works in Colorado. Well, guess what? Those works are going to have to file a 1099. They're going to be taxable. It's about money. So, at the end of the day, if anybody here or anywhere else has an opportunity, listen, General Assembly, go to the website. You can listen to the House, to the Senate. It's been introduced today. But we need to be prepared to push back on instances such as this, because at the end of the day, the sponsors of the bill, I'm not going to name them, but you can also find them, the sponsors of the bill need to go home and be accountable to their constituents. If we think that this is the industry that is going to bring us diversity in economies, well, I'm really going to be opposed to all of that. And the question that we have, and the question that needs to be asked is, who's asking for all of this? Who is requesting these things, and why is this coming in? But this is a serious bill that has an opportunity, because the votes exist both in the House and the Senate. So that's one bill. The other bill that we had a bit of a conversation on the Colorado counties on the floor of the conversation that we had that day. It's one of the bills that would help, would actually help reverse some of the assaults on Amendment 2. And the bills, this particular bill would be, it is House Bill 261021. The Second Amendment has been under assault in Colorado for so long. This common sense piece of legislation, Second Amendment Protection Act, would actually roll back some of those. As Commissioner Haas says, I think this bill is going to be sent today to the Kill Committee, and I don't think he has a chance of coming out of there intact. And the message, personally, from me and the Board of County Commissioners is for our constituents to get involved, to look at the General Assembly and find out what is going to be impacting counties. You know, at the end of the day, the infringement upon constitutional rights is very tangible, is very felt, and we need to stand up for every constituents. And so the last thing that I want to mention, we are continuing with Colorado Counties Incorporated. We have this renewable energy task force that we continue to work with. We have one of the best legislative liaisons within CCI. That actually the state of Colorado, through the governor's initiatives and both Senate and House, they would like to mandate 100% the citing of renewable energy places, how to, where to, and who. But one of the things that we keep reminding them of is in 1974, there was a bill that was actually approved. And in 1974, which none of us, I was not part of the whole thing, but Bill 74-1041, this 1041 gave opportunities to counties to work within their own capacity, knowledge, and expertise to set up what we call land use rules and regulations. And they have been working fantastic. We have a land use board here in Animas County. When somebody applies for a project, they come before that particular board and they present it to them, and they go through the Q&A, and then they advance that to the Board of County Commissioners, and we do the same thing. We want to protect both landowners, but also want to protect that the state is not really mandating to counties how to, where to. One of the bigger challenges that we believe as the renewable energy continues to advance is going to be that the bonding for when the project is completely done, how do we work through all of that? So we're asking the state of Colorado to please work with counties, give us that seat at the table, and very surprisingly, I think there is enough appetite from the state back to counties. Tell us what you want. Put a proposal together. So we're going through that. And so the 1041 powers brought in the authority and a permitting type thing for any local government, preserving the local authority, preserving also non-funding mandates, and also guaranteeing a seat at the table. So as we go through this whole thing, I think the 2026 legislative session is going to be not only challenging, but it's going to be an opportunity for us to display what counties are standing for, which is the local authority. Because at the end of the day, as we said earlier, out of Denver, one size does not fit all. So, commissioners, that's going to be my report. And now we're going to go to the next section. I'm going to call on any elected officials to see if we have any updates. I have a message from Sheriff Navarrete. He does not have a report. Assessor Amaro. Clerk and Recorder. Treasurer. District Attorney. Coroner. Hearing none, we're going to go to the next section, and I want to thank all of you for waiting. There was a presentation this morning. Colorado State University Extension Southern Region Director, Mr. Jeremy McNeely, Lori, and Cindy. I don't know if whoever. Welcome, good morning, and great to see you all.
It's good to see you guys. I want to introduce Jeremy McNeely. He is our new, my new boss. He's the new regional director for the Southern Regional Extension. But before, I wanted to share with you guys our annual 4-H report, so you guys, when you have time, you can check it out. So I'll give you a copy. Thank you. unfortunately. I don't think so, but I'm thinking I'm gonna retire in September. So there will be a vacancy in my position. Hopefully if everything works, September 1 is when I'm looking to retire. So at this point, we don't know what that means. Because you all know the state of Colorado is in a budget crunch, so I don't know what it's gonna be. But it's been a fun time, and I still have several months yet to work, and I'm excited to continue and see what I can get done. And I'll let Jeremy come ask you some questions.
What happens if your retirement application is denied? Great question.
That is a really good question. I will cry. No, I don't know. It's going to be hard enough, but it's time. I'm old. Getting old. Not that old, but I'm getting
You've been a great asset.
Oh, thank you. It's been fun. I can't believe it. It will be 38 years in June. Yeah. It's like a blink of an eye. I don't feel that old, but.
You don't look that old either.
Yeah.
Well, thank
Good
you.
bonus on that. But I'll let Jeremy talk. Thank you guys. It's been fun.
Well, I appreciate this opportunity, get to come and see you guys, and I don't know that we've met, I can't remember for sure, but, yeah, it's just great to be here and see this beautiful courthouse. It's pretty amazing. I'm glad I don't have to pay the bills on it, but yeah, it's really cool. You know, so I always like to start off with just a thank you for what you guys do. We understand we're unmandated too, you know, so the effort, the time, and the resources that you do to keep 4-H going and extension going, we really appreciate that. Hopefully it's a good return on your investment as well. That's always our goal, and we're always cognizant of that. So I get emotional about that because I really do appreciate it very much. You know, as far as the southern region goes, yeah, we're looking at some budget type things, and CSU is going to get hit pretty hard. Luckily, we're from the southern region, and we know how to be resilient, and we know how to struggle already. So that's one thing I'm proud of being, you know, from and able to lead the southern region of extension. Other things going across, you guys might have noticed the lack of moisture. We're scared about that. So yeah, we're trying to circle the wagons a little bit, hoping March and April will get better. But we've got some emergency management stuff ready to go in case wildfire starts, you know, becoming an issue across the state, and we've got a lot of resources on that. So if, you know, something happens here in Los Angeles County, we'll have somebody coming down to work with these two to hand out resources to anybody that's affected by that. So, hopefully that doesn't happen, but we're ready for it. I think 4-H numbers across the region are staying pretty steady, and we're excited about that. You guys know as well as we do that, you know, graduation rates increase with 4-H kids. I think it's like 95%. Is that about right? Yeah, so really good stuff there. And yeah, just navigating budgets. We are in a hiring chill, and so we are concerned about, you know, when Lori decides to retire, what that's going to look like. We're going to need to make sure that Sydney has what she needs to be able to keep doing her job as effective as possible. And we'll keep working on that. I'd like to take this opportunity to hear from you guys a little bit. What does a good working relationship between extension and the county mean to you? What does that look like?
You know, of course, you're talking to rural county, frontier county, whatever that means. I believe that you said communities like ours, counties like ours, have a lot of resilience. What the students, and I'm saddened to actually hear that word retirement, but I'm glad because at the end of the day, someone like Lori has left a impact on kids. My grandkids, both of them, benefactors of these particular programs, forging strong character people, people that are going to go on and be good citizens, that have a common sense. So the partnership for me personally is one of communication, which it is so important that we have their house here in the building. We hear often from them. But at the end of the day, I think it's seeing the results. When we go to the county fair, it is a proud moment for this county. You see all the participants, you see all the action. And then more than anything is when people start the auction and how much they support that activity. And it's not about the money. Although it helps, and I think our students, they go there, that's their purpose, but at the end of the day, they walk away with wow, that was incredible. Communities come together when it comes to this type of activity. And my personal opinion is that these programs educate, but do not indoctrinate. As some of the main classroom dictatorial, if you will, curriculum. So for me, keep doing the program. I think is robust. The program, always there's room for we should have done this, right? But those are hindsight moments. But the relationship with the county, I believe, is great. And how do you top 37 years of service? You know, those are going to be the challenges for you.
Yes.
To find someone that continues the partnership, the collaboration, and also that personal relationship with each one of the participants, because that's so important. But one of the things, you go to these activities, and when you walk to a county fair, everybody knows everybody, which is really awesome. But no, thank you for that, and that's my opinion, commissioners.
Yeah, I'd like to add that what you do and what Lori does and what Sydney and her parents have done and what all of our 4-H leaders do is they bridge that urban and rural divide. And that getting that voice out there and letting those individuals know that this is where your food comes from. And that's why we need the water. This legislative session is going to be an all-out attack on ag. And they're going after our water. They're trying to revision the WOTUS, and we just got it finalized last year. I got 2 amendments in there that protected our retention ponds and our small in-stream flows up under the rim rocks. And they swept them out of there, so they want to be sued. And they're going to get sued. But it's really important what you do.
I was fortunate enough that Lori and I, for the last 5 to 6 years, before I was a commissioner, we shared an office downstairs.
Okay.
I've known Lori, she's been here 38 years, I've known her 38 years. Sydney, I've watched her grow up when she was a baby. I didn't realize how much Lori and at that time it was Kim, were involved with the schools. They had, there was times that they were both going scrambling, one go one way and another one go another way. But they do a lot of programs for all the schools in the area. And a lot of our schools in the area are still 80 miles away.
Yeah.
So, they do a lot for the community and the schools.
Well, I appreciate that input, and as Sydney gets more time and experience, I think that was good for her to hear right there, and I think with her it'll keep moving forward. I see great things in her, so that's awesome, and I appreciate that. I think I just want to kind of close with one of my things is engagement and finding out exactly what problems that you guys may be facing that we can help do besides, helping with kids and youth and everything else. And so we have a ton of resources through Extension and through CSU that we're always willing to try to get down here to you as much as we can. But I always like having those conversations at CCI and different things like that. And please, if you you have something that you think that we can collaborate on or something like that, we would absolutely love to do that because we want to support you like you guys support us.
There may come a time, if there's a piece of legislation, and I'm thinking back to the Canyon Canyon days, if there's a piece of legislation where we could have young people go testify and the impact that that made on that bill, we may be hollering at you, just heads up.
Okay. We always have to be a little aware of being, looking into the political realm versus being in it. But yeah, we can always help you at least gather, or something like that. So,
The testimony that everybody gave, I believe Sidney gave testimony at the Canyon Canyon hearing that we were at. All of those voices that we heard from young people touched all those legislators that were up there that day.
Awesome.
And I think that was probably 50% of the work was done on that day.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and the challenge, state paid employee, that is where I happen to retire from a state agency, so that employee and the recipient of a check from the state, I could not stand that for. But then you can always go out and find someone, recruit, that's correct. Mr. Dorican, you have.
Does CSU get involved with aeronautics and airports or kids flying? Probably not.
Is there anything lately for HOA?
Are you talking,
CSU or?
Pardon me?
what specific are you looking for?
I guess what I'm thinking of is a way of perhaps attracting more kids into 4-H because, and indulge me here, please. And more, I guess, more of a societal comment that, I'm watching the Olympics and a lot of those Norwegian countries are doing really good. And they had a short documentary on it and they talked to them and they said they get their kids outside. They're not doing this, so I'm thinking, okay, thinking way out of the box here. We have a really good FBO, fixed-based operation going on at the airport. The owner of it is really easy to get along with, and so thinking way outside the box, I'm thinking, does Extension or CSU offer anything for kids to perhaps expose them to airplanes, aeronautics, becoming a mechanic, an airplane mechanic? I know there's been discussion with Trinidad State about perhaps creating a program to do that, because there is a need for those types of mechanics to certify planes, etc. But anyway, so again, thanks for indulging me.
No problem. And I don't know about that specifically, probably not currently, but I do think as we keep moving forward, Extension will be more involved with workforce development and helping kids with that, and maybe helping them try to establish careers, maybe establish a badging system, or even for adults as well, where we not so much credentialed, but maybe credentialed but not certified, but at least we will be able to help provide some of that training or find that training so that people are more job ready. And so I see that coming through Extension here pretty quick. And some of that's state driven, I think. Could you guys tell me, do you know where that bill might be as far as combining higher ed and workforce development? Okay.
I'll look.
Okay, I appreciate that. It would be something that would affect us, and I want to get ahead of it.
In one of my comments, if you would need a letter of support to send to your president, chancellor, board of directors from your southeast region, collected from every county, because at times the regions of the university are going to say, well, let's go with this program. But when you prove that this is one of the programs that yields a high percentage of graduates, what higher ed looks is, of course, completion, graduation, transfer, and then, of course, at the very end is employment. When you combine all those four things, obviously, personally, I would be more than glad to support that. If they're going to be doing any other cuts, through higher ed.
Yeah,
That's something else.
yeah,
But 4-H is one of those programs that is very, very, I mean, it keeps the pulse of the community, it keeps the engagement, and it creates good citizens.
yeah. Well, I really appreciate that, and I think that's a great idea. Very great idea, and I think it'll really help us moving forward into this next fiscal year. We're trying to fill some positions that are gonna be, gone pretty soon. So
Is
I
Dr.
appreciate
Tony
it.
Frank still there?
Yes, but he's getting ready to retire in December 27?
They're searching for his replacement right now.
Yeah,
Okay, well, he has been a great asset.
He has.
To
He's
the United
amazing.
States, 4-H. A good friend, so
yeah.
definitely while he's still around, have a cup of coffee with him.
Yeah,
And,
we need to use him while he's still here.
he can push, ideas such as these ones.
Yeah.
Because, the Spur campus
Mhm.
that has been created in Denver, I mean, we had a private tour of that facility, and what an amazing thing for the inner city youth of Denver
Yeah,
to have that opportunity and really understand what 4-H is. A lot of the programs, they don't have access to a rural area, but they have that campus in there that puts them in contact with all of the
yeah.
so definitely we're open, certainly supportive, and 4-H is near and dear to our
Yeah,
county.
we appreciate that very much, really do. So, and I really appreciate your time today.
Anytime.
One more comment. We're losing a lot of experience here. We lost Kathy, we're gonna lose maybe Frank's and you, Lori. It's more important than ever, and we lost Bruce.
Mhm.
It's more important than ever for you to be at the table. Even though you're, an intergovernment
Sure.
state agency, it's really important, especially if you want support for those letters and stuff, that you show up. And your president, Bruce, was really good at that.
Yep, I
And
appreciate that.
if you need a link for the meeting tonight, for this, State Lands is gonna have their intergovernmental meeting tonight.
Okay,
I could give that to you today. And
Yeah.
that way you can be at least on the Hollywood squares and everybody know that, hey, you're interested in what's
Yeah.
going on.
yeah, okay, I appreciate that very much.
And also, adding on to what Commissioner just mentioned, Colorado County Sync, we hold 2 conferences a year, and Bruce was there, all of them. And he would come to the southern region, he go
He
all
was
over.
there.
Okay,
Yeah,
and so certainly keep doing that.
yes, I will do that for sure. Yeah, I enjoy those opportunities, really do, so, yeah. Oh, gosh, it was great to meet you guys and
Likewise.
get to meet you again anyway, so, keep up the good work, and I just can't say thank you.
Thank you as well. Very good.
Okay.
If you got a card, I'll just shoot you that link
Okay.
when we get done here.
Thank you,
Thanks, Lori.
She's not going anywhere.
No, she's
Don't
not.
rush it.
I still have a few more months.
It's like, hold on.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Don't give me that.
So, Mr. John Cameron, going to go to the next public comment. Do you have anybody signed up?
No one said that.
No one signed up for public comment. Anyone online? Let me ask if you would like to address these Board of County Commissioners. This is the moment. Please simply raise your hand, unmute yourself, and you will have 3 minutes. Thank you. Hearing none, we're going to go to the next section. We don't have any items on section 8. We're going to go to section 9A, consideration of IFP number 26C001A, 2026 routine waste disposal rebid. Mr. Durham.
Commissioners, Administrative Assistant Officer redid the 26C001 and an extension of A to it to try and get a bid sent to the county for our trash service, refuse removal. And again, we received no bid. I reached out, Mrs. Lucero reached out, and for whatever reason, we just can't seem to get a bid back to the county. I'm thinking that perhaps through our procurement policy, item L3, sole source vendor purchases, I believe that it can be negotiated, maybe stretched to make that fit.
Why no bids? I don't, just,
I don't know, Commissioner, I can only speak for whenever I talked to one company that's been doing this historically for some time, they said, oh yeah, we're working on it. But it never arrives before the deadline. We really don't have a choice because we do need that service. We probably are aware of that.
well, instead of traveling, I'm thinking about everybody traveling all over to pick up these dumpsters, and we have this right here available, you know, in a small area. I just don't understand why they would bid on that. And we're not gonna have the fuel expense or the time expense and 4 yards.
My opinion, they've got a monopoly, and so no other choice but for us to use them.
There's 19 yards of refuse there.
Well, if the question is not having that sole source procurement, which I believe, I mean, at the very end, within our county, that could very well be. I would like to, I'm tempted to say yes to that, but I also want to make sure that we totally review the sole source language, make sure that we are well within, and so I don't think the vendor is one. I mean, the offerer of the services.
There's one vendor in this county that can provide that service
This is all source.
the county.
Commissioners?
The other vendor, apparently there's a startup, but they're not able to dump, if I understand right, anything outside of the residential size dumpster. The bigger dumpsters like we require at the courthouse and our other facilities that house many people, they can't accommodate that trash service.
One last question on this, Mr. Burnkamp. I know the price, there is not much we as a county can do. I mean, there's already pretty much a set price. I think it would be worth one of the two of you having a conversation and see if they would honor the current pricing or what they're looking at, but I do believe then it is a sole source.
I can't give you advice in the other meeting, but I can just put into the record what our sole source agreements or our sole source portion says. Equipment, supplies, or services may be procured in the absence of competition by the designated purchasing agent when, after conducting a good faith review of available vendors, it is determined that there is only one source for the required item.
Thank you.
At which point the purchasing agent has the option to just work with them.
Thank you. Council, that makes it very clear for me.
With that, I'd move to approve IFB number 26, C0018-2026, routine waste disposal rebid.
Under sole source.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Sarah?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes, thank you. And to me, that was the good faith effort. Thank you. 9B, consideration of resolution 26-013, reappointing veteran service officer, Mr. Burnkamp.
Commissioner, before you hear consideration, it's not a consideration, it's a resolution on appointing veteran service officer for Los Animas County.
Please read the resolution.
Sir, zoom in a little bit here. Resolution of Board of County Commission, Los Animas County, Colorado, appointing veteran service officer for Los Animas County, Colorado for the term of 2026 through 2028. Resolution number 26-013, whereas pursuant to CRS 28-5-801, Pen 1 imprint, it is the duty of the Board of County Commissioners of Los Animas County to establish a county veteran service office and to appoint a county veteran service officer for a 2-year term, who shall be charged with the responsibility of assisting veterans of military service residing in Los Animas County. And whereas pursuant to CRS 28-5-802, Prim 1 imprint, county veteran service officer must be a resident of the state of Colorado, shall have served in the United States Army, Air Force, Marine Corps or Coast Guard, or any auxiliary branch thereof, and such appointee must be well qualified based on education and experience to perform the duties of County Veteran Service Officer. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners sought the advice and counsel of local veterans in Los Angeles County in consideration of the appointment of a County Veteran Service Officer, now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, that Mr. Matthew Dominguez is hereby appointed as the Los Angeles County Veteran Service Officer for a term beginning February 3, 2026 and ending January 31, 2028. On motion made and seconded and affirmative vote, this resolution adopted the 17th day of February 2026. Board of County Commission, Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature ones.
Thank you, Mr. Dorlicamp. Any comments, commissioners? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve resolution 26-013, reappointing the Veteran Service Officer.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Searle,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes. Consideration of ADA compliance professional service agreement. Mr. Dorlicamp and our Finance Director, Coverly.
Commissioner, before you for your consideration of the contract with Coverly Web Creations to assist us with our ongoing ADA compliance on our website. And the board approved the, I don't see the contract, but we'd asked Coverly to send us some information. The last time the board was presented with that information on as far as the scope of work, which it mimicked in their contract here and the cost of their work as compared to some of the other companies that had also submitted not contractual, but estimates on what it costs to do similar work, but not to be done or to the degree that Coverly will. So I asked the board to approve this contract with Coverly Web Creations to keep pushing forward on our ADA compliance.
Thank you, Mr. Dorlicamp, and this is a very serious question. We're going to be able to build a state for this unfunded mandate.
I think we know the answer, sir.
Thank you. Just wanted for the record, House Bill 211110 mandated this, and again, small amount for a county, but when you look at 64 counties, these have a tremendous impact. Commissioners?
Commissioner, if I may,
Please.
this is just one step.
Yes.
We'll incur a huge, I would say huge, but a significant amount of costs when it comes to making our information, our documents that we have already online, ADA accessible. That's where we're going to, as Curtis, large funds being expended.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Council's good.
Nobody.
Move to approve the ADA compliance professional services agreement.
I'll second.
Commissioner Searle,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes. 90, consideration of liquor license renewal for Hallmark Liquor Water Lodge and Store, Inc. Council, any,
I reviewed the application, it is complete.
thank you, ma'am. Commissioners, any additional questions on this particular application? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve liquor license renewal for Hallmark Liquor Lodge and Store Incorporated.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Searle,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes. 90, consideration of Wise Tree Service 25C007 change order 1. Mr. Duncan.
Commissioners, Wise Tree Service, as part of our ADA upgrades in our Zero-Scape project that we received grant money from DOLA via the Energy Impact Assistance Fund. We incorporated some of their work to remove 3 dead trees out of the park just south of the courthouse here and plant a couple of cherry trees. And whenever I met with their estimator on what they would need as far as areas to perform their work, they would want to close 2nd Street, which we did, and they want to close Chestnut from 2nd down to the alley. My interpretation of what my discussion was with their estimator was they would need the alley closed our ADA contractor, the one who's doing concrete work at ADA, trying to get parking, I think, put in here and made 2 cuts across what I consider not the alley, but outside the alley, actually more to more the courtyard area. And when I spoke with him, I said, okay, whenever they need to get into the alley, you can pull all your equipment out of there. And he said he would, so he had communication with them when they were on Chestnut. We received this bill, I contacted Wise, and Wise told me that, what they needed wasn't the alley vacated, they needed the courtyard vacated, because their crane required to pull this way from the back, because the crane worked off the back of the truck. Couldn't work off the side of it, even with the operator's account, wasn't aware of that. So, the fault is mine. If you look on their, they've been Wise's, I think it's page 67, it'll be 69 on the right-hand side of the column, but it's actually 67 of our documents. It says the parking area south of the building. Their definition of south of the building is the courtyard. Again, I'm talking about my conversation with them. I thought it's alleyway. So again, the fault is mine, and I'd ask the board to approve this change order because they couldn't use their crane. They had to bring in another piece of equipment the following day to finish this center tree out here where the tables used to be.
Any questions, commissioners? Finance Director Coverly, any questions? Thank you. Hearing no additional conversation of this, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve the Wise Tree Service 25-C007, chain order 1.
Second.
Commissioner Searle?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes. 9F, consideration of Water Soil Company certificate for state use gasoline and or undyed diesel. Mr. Bronca.
Commissioner, before you for your consideration is Wallace Gas and Oil's certificate of state use of gasoline and undyed diesel. I believe all of our fuel vendors get this to us eventually throughout the year. This is just Wallace's. In essence, it's letting them know that we're a tax exempt entity, that they shouldn't be taxing us, and that we're also going to use the undyed diesel.
We haven't received a bid from them in a long time. Is this why they weren't current? So
I don't believe so, Commissioner, because they, I think their certificate, I believe, is current. I use, for whatever reason, our bid. I can't speak to that.
We have a form from the state that shows that we're exempt, and we can just send them with this. I think I've sent it every year, it's in again. Yeah, it's like another tax exempt certificate from the state.
Very good. Any other questions on this? I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve Wallace Oil Company certificate for state use of gasoline and or undyed diesel.
second motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Searle?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes. 9G, consideration of liquor license renewal for Sam's Place. Council.
I reviewed the application and it appears complete.
Thank you, ma'am. I really appreciate that. Hearing that, commissioners, are there any other questions? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve the liquor license renewal for Sam's Place.
Second.
Commissioner Searle?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes. 9H, consideration of CDOT Regional Track Rodeo proposal for fairgrounds use. Mr. Dorica.
Commissioners, before you for your consideration is a request from the Colorado Department of Transportation, the Southern Region, to utilize the Expo building, Expo Center, and then also midway out of the fairgrounds. CDOT has asked that in lieu of a payment, which is what we typically charge, I think, $50 an hour for the Expo Center. Excuse me, with the minimum of $300, and I believe it's $25 for the midfield for any community organization, which governmental agencies fall within. They've asked that the county consider asphalt millings in lieu of that payment. My personal opinion is, I would love to see this happen at the fairgrounds. As a matter of fact, there's been discussion with our fairgrounds coordinator and CDOT that this happens and it is pulled off really good, there's no hiccups or anything else. And I might approach the county about doing the statewide regional rodeo, CDOT statewide regional rodeo, which would be actual exposure for our fairgrounds, and for the community. Here's my yabba is, one, we really don't need the millions, we've got out of millions out of the, our airport bid, our airport gravel bid. So we really don't need any more millions, and even if we did, I would be reluctant to ask the board to approve this, because if we do it for CDOT, council's ear, or words ring in my ears, we do it for CDOT, we do it for any other government agency. And I really don't want to open it, in my opinion, I don't want to open up that Pandora's box. Obviously, it's the board's decision, but that's my opinion, that's.
It would have significant impact to everything that was around there. And even if they were careful and didn't tear anything up, just the impact to the road and whatever else turning in there. And then I'm thinking they would have to make that turn correct into the gates.
Commissioner, I'm really not sure what a rodeo is, but my suspicion is they probably bring in store operators and best out of each one of the different field offices, for lack of a better word, field shops, and they come in and they compete against one another in various equipment thing, which personally I think would be great exposure, not only for the fairgrounds, but for this community, and especially if we could get the state rodeo in here, it'd be really great, money being spent in our community, et cetera, back to my point, we do it for this government agency, then we do it for all. And you're right, Commissioner, there would be some, my suspicion is there would be some impact, perhaps negative impact on our fairgrounds, which we can shape up okay.
So your recommendation is at this point?
My recommendation at this point is if they want to use the fairgrounds, they use the fairgrounds at the original rates offered again at the community rate, $25 for the infield, for the midway, I think it's $50 an hour for the Expo Center. The Expo Center, $50 an hour to $300 maximum, and in the midway, the infield, $25 for a full day's rental.
Have you had a conversation with the
No, I have not. Well, excuse me, yes, I have. I'll take that back. I'm sure I did have a discussion with this individual, one who's Robert Beck and I mentioned.
So the one is, Las Animas County, like you're saying, what a great exposure. That is, and then opening up that part of our community to them. Instead of millions, and they give you 500 ton of good gravel. I'm simply not, because the cost, I'm looking at the dollar value again, not for other than simple conversation, we can use on our county roads, but again, that as you being the subject matter expert for the road bridge.
If the board would like me to ask if they're amenable to gravel and do millings, I will do that. And then come up with a guide. Again,
And why?
Go ahead.
And why is Los Animas County on the hook for transporting the remaining 250 tons using its own equipment?
That's why there's agreed. We don't need the millings to begin with, so.
This could be a simple vote, Commissioners. I just know that 500 ton of gravel delivered to the county fairgrounds would be awesome.
You want to table this or
section 10, consideration of payrolls, consideration of payroll and bills for the first half of February 2026. Finance Director Goberty, good morning.
Good morning. It said payroll as of February 15, 2026 for $235,814.14. Do you have any questions on payroll? Invoices paid on February 4th, $240,782.98. Within this packet, let's see. We paid an annual service fee to Colorado Rangers, which to our Sheriff's Department for $600. Geoforce Incorporated with a Sheriff's Department annual fee of $4,810.44. And then our clerk and recorder asked for additional cash, for petty cash, and for an additional drawer for $300. And that's all I brought to your attention, unless you have something that I missed.
What is a Zuga Inc.?
Felix asked that last time, so I think it's a software for road and bridge, correct?
Correct, Commissioner. What that is, the board approved it sometime back, and we entered into a contract. It's a GPS tracking unit on, remember, whenever backhoes and kept disappearing, and never, yeah, that's what that is.
That sounds like a really good song.
Or something you drink at the beach?
Any questions, any additional questions for the Finance Director? If not, I will entertain a motion.
To approve payroll and bills for the first half of February 2026.
Second that?
Commissioner Searle?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes. Let's go to section 11, Board of County Commissioners will meet under executive session under CRS 246402B, conferring with the county attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions. Item A is the WUI and B is contracts. Commissioners, I will entertain a motion to suspend these Board of County Commissioners and enter into executive session with a small recess.
So moved.
Second motion.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Searle?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.